You've nurtured them, poured your heart and soul into their upbringing, and now it seems they scarcely recognize your presence. The phone calls dwindle, visits become a rarity, and when they do grace you with their company, there's a sharpness in their tone, an impatience that cuts deep. They may dismiss your counsel, overlook your wisdom, or speak to you in a manner that leaves you feeling insignificant. If you've ever experienced this sting of disrespect from your own children, know that you are not alone. This is one of the most challenging truths of aging, the painful realization that those you cherish the most may drift away. Value your wisdom, your presence, and your role in their lives. Before resentment takes root and defeat seems inevitable, remember this: respect is not a permanent casualty, it can be restored. In this video, I will guide you through the process. This journey is not about placing blame on your children, it's about grasping the dynamics at play, understanding the reasons behind them, and, most crucially, reclaiming your power. Together, we will explore 6 impactful strategies grounded in psychology that will help you regain their respect and foster a stronger, healthier relationship. Communication and self-respect can transform not only how your children perceive you but also how you perceive yourself. If you've ever felt unheard, undervalued, or dismissed by your own family, I invite you to stay with me. By the end of this video, you will possess the tools to not only demand respect but to inspire it. Respect is something we naturally expect from our children. After all, we raised them, sacrificed for them, and guided them through life's challenges. Therefore, when we begin to feel dismissed, ignored, or belittled, it stings deeply. It resonates with a profound sense of hurt. It may seem unjust, yet it is crucial to grasp that when respect diminishes, it rarely occurs in an instant, rather, it unfolds over time. To restore that respect, we must first delve into the reasons behind its decline. Let us explore the prevalent factors contributing to adult children losing respect for their parents and the steps that can be taken to address this issue. One significant factor is the shifting dynamics within the family. In their younger years, the relationship held a clear hierarchy, with you as the authority figure, the decision-maker, and the protector upon whom they relied. Everything, food, shelter, advice, emotional support, was once the foundation of their relationship. However, as they matured, that dynamic evolved. Children, in their quest for independence, begin to perceive themselves as equals in the world. They start to make their own choices, form their own opinions, and navigate life according to their own rules. This transition is a natural aspect of growing up. Yet, in their pursuit of autonomy, they may overlook the importance of respect, which should remain a fundamental element of the relationship. If they have become accustomed to viewing you solely as the caretaker, they might fail to recognize the depth of your role. An individual with unique needs may inadvertently foster a subconscious lack of respect. Furthermore, cultural and generational shifts have transformed the landscape dramatically within just one generation. The values, traditions, and social expectations that once shaped your upbringing differ significantly from those influencing the younger generation today. This disparity often breeds tension. For instance, many older adults were raised in an era where respect for parents and elders was instilled as a core value, and questioning authority was less prevalent. In contrast, today's world embraces a different ethos. Independence is often encouraged, leading to questioning of traditions and even challenging authority figures, including parents. Your adult children may not fully grasp that their casual tone, dismissive attitude, or reluctance to heed your advice can come across as disrespectful. They might perceive it merely as asserting their own voice. However, if this generational gap remains unaddressed, it risks deepening the emotional divide between you. The crucial approach is not to insist on respect by invoking the past, but rather to seek understanding. Finding common ground can help bridge the gap, allowing us to move forward without the weight of the past or the feeling that others inhabit a different reality. One significant aspect to consider is the unintentional mistakes made by parents. This is a difficult truth to confront, yet it holds great importance. Often, without awareness, we may inadvertently contribute to a decline in respect. It is never our intention, but certain behaviors can create distance between us and our adult children. A prevalent reason for this fading respect is when parents persist in treating their adult children as if they are still young. When we consistently offer unsolicited advice or guidance, it can push them away. Offering guidance on their decisions or gently reminding them of their responsibilities may lead them to tune you out or, worse, harbor resentment towards the conversation. Another frequent misstep is over-involvement. If you intervene excessively by attempting to solve their problems, providing financial assistance without clear boundaries, or making them feel indebted to you, it can backfire. Rather than expressing gratitude, they might experience feelings of suffocation, control, or obligation, which can ultimately breed resentment. The encouraging aspect is that these patterns are not set in stone and can be transformed through mindful approaches. Recognizing the moments when we may be overstepping or clinging too tightly allows us to adjust our approach, fostering respect rather than driving them away. A significant aspect often overlooked is the connection between respect and boundaries. If your child feels free to speak to you in any manner, disregard your messages, or exploit your kindness, it frequently stems from a lack of clearly defined boundaries. For instance, do you permit them to dismiss your feelings without addressing it? You allow them to speak to you in a manner that feels disrespectful, all to avoid conflict. Do you persist in assisting them in ways that leave you feeling depleted, never uttering the word no? Boundaries are not about excluding others, they are about instructing people on how to treat you. When you begin to enforce boundaries with kindness and firmness, you start to reclaim the respect that may have diminished over time. Now that we comprehend the reasons behind the erosion of respect, the next step is to discover how to restore it, beginning with the very foundation of all. Strong relationships require healthy boundaries. Have you ever sensed that your adult children might be taking advantage of your kindness? Perhaps they only reach out when they need something, dismiss your feelings, ignore your advice, or even speak to you in ways that feel disrespectful. Yet, you find yourself allowing this behavior, fearing that pushing them away might sever your connection. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. Many older adults grapple with the challenge of establishing boundaries, often out of a fear of conflict or the desire to maintain closeness with their children. However, the reality is that without boundaries, respect erodes. Respect isn't merely a reflection of how others treat you, it also hinges on how you permit yourself to be treated. The encouraging news is that you can begin establishing boundaries today. When you take this step, you'll observe a transformation, not only in how others perceive you but also in your self-perception. Many believe that boundaries serve to distance people, but this notion is misguided. In reality, healthy boundaries fortify relationships by fostering clear expectations and mutual respect. So, what do healthy boundaries entail? It involves saying no without guilt and recognizing that no is a. Stand firm in your values, refusing to bend merely for the sake of peace. Do not accept disrespect, instead, address rude or dismissive behavior with calmness and directness. Protect your time and energy, recognizing that you are not obligated to drop everything for others. Let go of guilt, understanding that you are not responsible for solving your child's problems. Establish boundaries by clearly communicating your expectations for how you wish to be treated, and make it known that you will not accept anything less. When conveyed with calm confidence, this message fosters respect over time. Concerns surrounding the establishment of boundaries often plague older adults. They ponder questions like, what if my child becomes angry, or what if they cease to reach out? However, it is essential to keep in mind that those who react most negatively to your boundaries are typically the individuals who have gained the most from your lack of them. The secret to implementing boundaries without escalating into conflict lies in the manner of your communication. Here's a straightforward framework to consider. Step 1. Be clear and direct. Articulate precisely what you need in a calm, neutral tone. Steer clear of lengthy explanations, as over-explaining can lead to misunderstandings. Exude a sense of hesitation, for instance, rather than expressing uncertainty with, I don't know, articulate your feelings by stating, I can't continue lending you money, I need to focus on my own finances. Moving to the next step, maintain your stance with both firmness and kindness. If they challenge your decision, reiterate your boundary without becoming defensive. For example, if they counter with, "But you've always helped me before," you might respond, "I understand, but this is a decision I've made for myself." Finally, remember that there is no need to apologize for establishing boundaries. You owe no justification for prioritizing your own well-being. Instead of saying, "I'm really sorry, but I just can't," simply affirm your choice. "I cannot comply with that request." Your boundaries are non-negotiable, serving as the framework for how you wish to be treated. One of the most challenging aspects of establishing boundaries is navigating the guilt that often accompanies it. If you have dedicated your life to prioritizing your children, the act of saying no may initially evoke discomfort. At times, your children may inadvertently attempt to instill guilt, expressing sentiments such as, "But you're my parent, you're meant to assist me," or, "If you won't do this for me, it means you don't love me." This can be a difficult emotional landscape to traverse. Selfishness often masquerades as emotional manipulation, aiming to sow doubt in your choices. Yet, it's crucial to remember that your well-being is paramount. You are not accountable for their happiness. Prioritizing yourself is not an act of selfishness. A refusal does not equate to a lack of love. If your child reacts with negativity, maintain your composure. You might say, "I understand you're upset, but my decision is final. I love you, yet I must do what's best for me. I'm willing to assist in other ways, but this is where I draw the line." Over time, when others recognize the sincerity behind your words, they will gradually come to respect your boundaries, even if their initial reaction is one of discontent. A boundary devoid of consequences is merely a suggestion. If you establish a rule yet fail to uphold it, your child will quickly understand that they can disregard it without repercussions. For instance, should they address you with disrespect, calmly conclude the conversation. If they continue to flout your boundaries, consider limiting your interactions until they demonstrate the necessary respect. If they depend on you financially but fail to show appreciation, it may be time to cease financial support. Your actions must align with your intentions. Your words hold power, otherwise, they will continue to test the limits. Boundaries are not merely about punishment, they are a reflection of self-respect. By setting and enforcing these boundaries, you impart valuable lessons to your children about how to treat you. The more you honor yourself, the more respect you will receive in return. As parents, we dedicate years to guiding our children, supporting them, and being the steadfast foundation they can rely on. Yet, somewhere along this journey, many of us begin to gauge our worth based on our children's acknowledgement, appreciation, or validation. You may find yourself. It leaves one pondering why my child seldom reaches out or pays a visit. Why do they overlook my counsel when my intentions are rooted in care? Do they truly recognize the sacrifices I've made for them? It's only human to crave affection and acknowledgement from our offspring, yet when we hinge our self-worth on their validation, we relinquish our own strength. The stark reality is this: if you continue to await your child's approval, gratitude, or affirmation to feel fulfilled, you will forever remain at their mercy. It's time to cease the quest for validation and reclaim your own power. The loss of power often manifests in our relentless pursuit of attention or approval from our children. It can appear as a constant need to explain oneself, justifying choices in hopes of gaining their acceptance. We find ourselves reaching out first, always the initiator of calls, texts, or visits, and feeling a pang of anxiety when responses are delayed, interpreting silence as discontent. In our desire to please, we may agree to things we would rather avoid, all to sidestep conflict, allowing their words and actions to dictate our emotional landscape. Your emotions can soar with joy when they show kindness, yet plummet into despair when they withdraw. If this resonates with you, it may indicate that you have entrusted too much of your emotional well-being to others. The remedy lies in redirecting your focus inward. Rather than relying on them to affirm your worth, it's essential to cultivate that sense of value within yourself. One of the most empowering steps you can take is to practice emotional detachment. This doesn't imply a cessation of love for your children, rather, it signifies a release from the need to base your happiness on their actions. Here's how you can begin this transformative journey. In the journey of emotional well-being, it's essential to embrace a sense of detachment that nurtures your spirit. Cease the pursuit, allow them the space to approach you. If they choose not to, redirect your energy towards your own life rather than lingering in anticipation. Their distant, rude, or dismissive demeanor is a reflection of their own struggles, not a commentary on your worth. Adjust your expectations, acknowledging that they may never meet your desires for attention or affection, and find peace in that. Acceptance. Engage in brief, uplifting conversations rather than lengthy, emotionally charged discussions. Maintain a light-hearted atmosphere, and if faced with disrespect, respond with calm clarity rather than emotional turmoil. State your boundaries with grace. Establish boundaries and move forward, there's no need for disputes or emotional upheavals. When you cease to rely on others for emotional affirmation, a remarkable transformation occurs, you reclaim authority over your own joy. You experience a sense of lightness, freedom, and tranquility. A significant reason parents often seek validation from their children is that they have lost perspective on their own worth beyond the roles of mother or father. Yet, the reality is this: you are more than just a parent, you are a complete individual, rich with passions, wisdom, and intrinsic value that is independent of anyone else. Approval is essential, but how does one go about rebuilding self-worth and reconnecting with passions? Reflect on what you cherished before parenting took center stage, be it art, music, or travel. Now is the moment to rediscover those interests. Cultivate a robust social circle by joining a club, attending a class, or rekindling old friendships. Shift your focus to personal achievements and set new goals, whether they pertain to fitness, acquiring new knowledge, or volunteering. Embrace self-care, nurture both your mind and body. Dress well, eat healthily, and keep moving. Affirm yourself daily and stop waiting for external validation. Compliments from others serve as reminders to affirm your worthiness, your sufficiency, and your right to respect. The more you concentrate on your own fulfillment, the less you will seek external validation to feel good about yourself. Remember this powerful truth: people will treat you according to how you allow them to. If you present yourself as though your time, words, and feelings are insignificant, they will mirror that sentiment. Conversely, when you carry yourself with confidence and self-respect, others will learn to honor and respect you in return. So, how do you set the tone? Speak with confidence in your conversations. Embrace self-assurance and never underestimate the value of your thoughts. When your child interrupts, dismisses, or speaks rudely, address it with calmness and firmness. Avoid seeking approval before making decisions. Instead of asking, "Do you think I should do this?" assertively state, "I've decided to do this." Lead by example, demonstrating what self-respect truly means, and watch as they begin to mirror your behavior. By embodying self-respect, you will inspire respect from others, including your children. Remember, you do not require your child's constant validation. Validation is essential to recognize your inherent worth. You are valuable just as you are. When you cease seeking approval from others, you reclaim the power that has always belonged to you. Consider how frequently a conversation with your child has escalated into an argument. Perhaps you began by calmly voicing a concern, yet before long, voices were raised, frustration mounted, and resolution remained elusive. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. Many older adults grapple with communication, often stemming from a place of emotion rather than strength. This is where the challenge lies. The more emotional you become, the less your child pays attention when you raise your voice, plead, or react defensively. They perceive this as a sign of weakness, which, in their minds, justifies their disrespect. However, when you communicate with strength, calmness, clarity, and control, you shift the dynamics of the conversation. They are compelled to take you seriously. Let's explore how to curb emotional reactions and begin speaking with the authority you rightfully deserve. The manner in which you express yourself dictates the level of respect you receive. A weak, pleading tone conveys uncertainty to your child. A loud, emotional voice cries out, revealing a loss of control, while a steady, calm voice demands respect. Let us examine two contrasting responses to the same situation. The emotional reaction might be, "You never listen to me. You're so disrespectful. Why do you treat me this way?" In contrast, a strength-based response would be, "I don't like how you're speaking to me. Let's have a conversation with mutual respect." Which approach do you believe will command more seriousness? The latter, undoubtedly. Why? Because it is clear, calm, and firm. Your aim is not to overpower them, rather, it is to demonstrate your unwavering stance against disrespect. One of the most challenging situations arises when your child addresses you with a tone that feels dismissive or rude. Your initial reaction may be to respond with anger, hurt, or frustration. However, it's crucial to recognize that allowing emotions to dictate your response grants them control, while maintaining your composure ensures that the power remains with you. The next time your child exhibits disrespect, take a moment to pause before you respond. Inhale deeply. Silence can be a formidable tool, signaling that you are not easily rattled. Opt for a calm yet assertive reply. Rather than exclaiming, "How dare you speak to me like that?" consider saying, "I don't." Disrespect will not be tolerated. If you wish to converse, do so with respect. Establish a consequence for continued disrespect and enforce it without argument. I will resume this conversation when we can communicate respectfully. If necessary, I will walk away. This method clarifies that emotional battles are not an option. They must choose to communicate respectfully or forfeit your attention. Many parents err by attempting to justify every boundary or request with lengthy explanations, believing that if they explain sufficiently, their child will understand. At last, clarity emerges, and agreement takes shape. Yet, in truth, over-explaining often betrays a lack of confidence. Here's a principle to keep in mind: the more you elaborate, the weaker your stance appears. Consider this example: a feeble expression like, "I don't think I can watch the grandkids tomorrow because I have a doctor's appointment and I need rest and I have other things to do," contrasts sharply with a more assertive, "I'm unavailable tomorrow." No justification is necessary, nor any apology. A confident declaration suffices. One of the most effective ways to convey strength is through concise, direct statements that leave no room for doubt. There exists a space for discussion, and here are several phrases you might consider incorporating into your daily interactions. "I won't tolerate that tone. This conversation is over. I've made my decision. I don't argue. I expect to be treated with respect." These statements carry no emotion, no lengthy explanations, just a clear declaration that conveys your seriousness. The more frequently you employ these phrases, the more your child will understand that your words hold weight. Sometimes, the most impactful action is simply to walk away. If your child remains unresponsive, continues to show disrespect, or attempts to engage in argument, refrain from engaging. Instead, choose to remove yourself from the situation. Removing yourself from the situation accomplishes three significant outcomes. It demonstrates your refusal to accept disrespect, it halts the potential for escalating arguments, and it allows you to maintain control over your emotions. There is no need to prove your point or to emerge victorious in the conversation. Your true strength lies in your ability to refrain from engaging in their drama. By communicating with strength rather than emotion, you convey a powerful message: "I am not weak, I do not seek your approval, and I am deserving of respect." The more you uphold this stance, the clearer your position becomes. The more you establish standards, the better your children will adapt their behavior. Respect isn't a demand, it's an inspiration. Many parents face challenges with disrespect from their children, often due to years spent trying to control, correct, or persuade without recognizing that the most effective way to earn respect is to embody it through their own actions. Consider this: if you desire your children to honor your time, your boundaries, and your wisdom, they must first witness you honoring your own time, boundaries, and wisdom. Enduring mistreatment, perpetually sacrificing your own needs, or dwelling in self-doubt can have a profound impact on your children, who may reflect those same patterns. However, when they witness you embodying confidence, dignity, and self-respect, they are likely to follow your example. So, how can you lead by example and reclaim the respect you rightfully deserve? Let's explore this further. One of the most common pitfalls parents encounter is the urge to control their adult children. You may not even be aware that you're doing it, but it can manifest in statements like, "You should be calling me more," or "I don't like the way you're raising your kids." Heed my counsel. The reality is that the harder you strive to dictate your child's behavior, the more they will push back. No one holds respect for those who perpetually criticize, nag, or complain. Instead, redirect your attention inward, cease the attempts to alter them and begin the journey of self-improvement. As you enhance your own life, their respect will follow suit, naturally. If you permit your child to speak to you dismissively, overlook your needs, or disregard your time, they will continue this pattern. However, by establishing clear expectations, you compel them to adapt. Here's how to set the stage. It is essential to address any instances of disrespect without delay. If your child interrupts, talks over you, or ignores your words, do not let it pass unnoticed. Politely assert, "I would like to finish my thought," and hold them accountable for their behavior. When they make promises to call or visit but fail to follow through, resist the urge to chase after them. Instead, calmly express, "I noticed you didn't follow through," and emphasize the importance of honesty. Demonstrate self-respect in your daily decisions. If they cancel plans at the last minute, do not rearrange your life for them. Simply state, "I made time for this, let's reschedule when you can commit." Over time, your child will come to understand the value of respect and accountability. Respect is not something you demand, it is something you embody. Many parents err by placing their children at the center of their universe, waiting by the phone for a call, feeling hurt when their child is preoccupied, and postponing their own dreams in hopes of garnering more attention. The reality is that if your life revolves solely around them, they may come to take you for granted. However, when they witness you leading a full, independent, and joyful life, their respect for you will deepen. Reflect on your existence beyond parenthood. What hobbies and passions do you pursue? Your goals are essential. Are you truly living your life, or merely waiting for others to invite you in? The instant you redirect your attention to your own fulfillment, perceptions will shift. You will no longer be seen as a needy figure, but rather as a strong individual deserving of admiration. Respect is not solely about setting boundaries, it also encompasses connection. If you desire your child to listen, spend time with you, and honor your role, you must embody the kind of parent they wish to be near. Here's how to achieve that: release old grievances and refrain from bringing them up. Reflect on past mistakes and concentrate on the present. Be a wellspring of wisdom rather than a figure of control. Offer guidance only when solicited, allowing them the space to learn from their own errors. Maintain a positive tone in conversations. Instead of lamenting their infrequent visits, share intriguing happenings from your life. Prioritize respect. The most effective way to garner respect is to extend it first. Treat them as autonomous adults, not as children indebted to you for their time. By fostering an atmosphere of respect, value, and freedom, you will naturally encourage them to seek your company more willingly. While it may feel like an obligation, it stems from a place of genuine appreciation. Your children absorb far more from your actions than from your words. If you wish for them to embody responsibility, kindness, and respect, they must witness you exemplifying those qualities. For instance, if you desire them to be respectful, ensure that your own speech reflects that respect. If you want them to embrace responsibility, demonstrate it through your own life choices. If attentive listening is what you seek from them, practice active listening when they share their thoughts. And if you wish for them to cherish family, be the person they look forward to spending time with. The more you embody the qualities you desire from others, the more they will reflect those qualities back to you. Earning your child's respect isn't about demanding it, it's about living in a manner that naturally commands it. When you cease to chase their attention, establish clear standards, and cultivate a life that is robust and fulfilling, respect will ensue. The instant you stop making your child the focal point of your world is the moment they begin to respect you more. Many older parents, often unwittingly, place all their happiness, validation, and emotional well-being in the hands of their children. Well-being rests in the hands of their children, who anticipate frequent calls, visits, and constant affirmations of love. But let us pause and reflect, whom do we truly admire and respect in life? It is those who exude confidence, self-sufficiency, and mastery over their own happiness. This principle holds true in the dynamics of parent-child relationships. When your child observes you leading a vibrant, independent life, they cease to view you as a burden and begin to see you as a figure of admiration. Crafting an independent and fulfilling existence transcends mere respect, it is about embodying a life that inspires. In the process of rediscovering oneself and welcoming the next chapter of your journey, it is essential to embrace joy, purpose, and strength. So, how does one craft a life that no longer revolves around others? Let's explore this step by step. For decades, your identity may have been intricately tied to being a parent. You devoted years to nurturing your children, making sacrifices, and prioritizing their needs. Yet now, as they step into adulthood, establishing their own lives, families, and responsibilities, it becomes crucial to reflect, who am I beyond the roles of mother or father? What passions ignite my spirit? What do I truly love to do? Dreams have been set aside, passions overlooked. It may feel unsettling initially, yet the transition from parent to individual is profoundly empowering. Once you reclaim your own life, your children will perceive you anew, not as someone who merely waits for them, but as a person who leads an inspiring existence. A common misstep among older adults is relying on their children to occupy their time. However, your happiness should never hinge on another's timetable. Instead, cultivate a daily routine that reflects your own desires. Craft a routine that resonates with your essence, one that is both exhilarating and significant. Begin each morning with intention, whether through reading, exercising, or journaling. Prioritize your own needs before reaching for your phone to check for messages. Immerse yourself in social endeavors, join clubs, take classes, or volunteer, and fill your life with those who inspire joy and laughter. Embrace your hobbies and passions. If painting, learning an instrument, or traveling has long called to you, seize the moment. Establish goals that foster your personal growth. Whether it involves acquiring a new skill, penning a book, or enhancing your well-being, setting goals instills a profound sense of purpose. When your child observes your active, independent, and joyful demeanor, they are likely to hold you in higher regard and draw inspiration from your way of life. Many older parents inadvertently tether their self-worth to their children's actions. A call from them brings feelings of value, while silence can evoke a sense of rejection. However, true confidence and happiness are not derived from external validation, they originate from within. Rather than gauging your worth by others' perceptions. Often, when your child calls or visits, consider how fulfilled you feel in your daily life. When you transition from seeking validation to embracing self-worth, you reclaim control over your happiness. Children do not wish to feel obligated to visit out of guilt, they desire to be around you because they genuinely enjoy your company. The more you cultivate a life rich in joy, confidence, and fulfillment, the more your child will be attracted to your vibrant energy. To make your presence enjoyable, concentrate on these three aspects: be positive, not needy, and refrain from complaining about what you lack. Instead of imposing your presence, share the exciting moments unfolding in your life. Respect their independence and grant them the space they need. The less you demand their attention, the more they will be inclined to offer it. Cultivate an atmosphere of joy, whether through engaging conversations, storytelling, or shared laughter, so that time spent with you becomes something they eagerly anticipate rather than a source of obligation. By fostering an uplifting presence, your children will not perceive visits as a burden. Instead, they will genuinely desire to be in your company. One of the primary reasons older. Many adults experience a sense of being adrift, as the years spent nurturing children once provided a profound sense of meaning. Now, it is essential to seek out a new wellspring of fulfillment. Reflect on what ignites your enthusiasm each morning. Consider how you might contribute to the lives of others. Contemplate the dreams you've set aside due to time constraints. Whether it involves mentoring, volunteering, traveling, or pursuing new knowledge, cultivating a robust sense of purpose can restore joy, confidence, and fulfillment to your life. The most rewarding aspect? Your journey is just beginning. Children will observe your flourishing spirit, and their attraction to you will stem not from obligation but from genuine admiration and love. Ultimately, respect is cultivated from within. By creating a life that is independent, fulfilling, and driven by purpose, your children will no longer perceive you as someone in need of their attention. Instead, they will recognize you as a person deserving of their time, admiration, and respect. We've explored much in this video, and I encourage you to take a deep breath and reflect on all that we've discussed. If your children have distanced themselves, respecting yourself does not signify the end of a relationship. Rather, it indicates that a transformation is necessary, and that transformation begins with you. Some may ponder, have I not already squandered too much time? Am I too old to initiate change? Allow me to assure you, it is never too late to reclaim your dignity, your happiness, and your power. Respect transcends age. It is about the way you present yourself, the manner in which you enter a room, the way you hold your head high, how you confront challenges, and how you embrace life. Regardless of your age, starting today, I urge you to take that step forward. Cease the waiting game for others to bestow upon you the respect you deserve. Instead, cultivate a presence that commands it, not through anger or threats, but with a serene strength and unwavering confidence, coupled with a revitalized sense of self-worth. When you honor yourself, the world will inevitably follow your example. Now, I invite you to share your thoughts. Which of these 6 steps resonated with you the most? Have you ever grappled with feelings of disrespect from your children? If so, what steps have you taken to address it? Please leave a comment below. I will make it a point to read and respond to as many as I can, for this is important. This isn't merely a video, it's a vibrant community of individuals united in the pursuit of fostering stronger, healthier, and more respectful relationships. If you found this content beneficial, please take a moment to like it. Your support helps amplify this message to others who may benefit. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to this channel and activating the notification bell, ensuring you stay updated on future videos designed to empower you to live your best life on your own terms. Remember, you are worthy, you are strong, and you deserve to be treated with respect. Earn the respect of all, including your children. Embrace this wisdom and transform it into action. Until we meet again, continue to stand tall, live boldly, and honor yourself, for therein lies the essence of true power.